My name is Majid Mustafa. I'm from Uganda, and in today's forum, I will be your moderator. I will be asking you the questions, or mainly I will be conducting the forum and making sure I'll be basically directing the discussion. And thank you for all the esteemed panelists for attending the session. And I mean, we can go forward with each introducing ourselves. I think I've introduced myself enough, and I guess we could start with Rafah from the left of the screen. If you could please introduce yourself, the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rafah Al-Khateeb. I'm from Lebanon, and I guess I'm really excited to be here today. I'm also very excited to be part of this. It's such a nice thing for us youth. Thank you.
You're welcome. And moving on to my right is Salama. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, by the way. So if I mispronounced your name, please forgive me for the first time. Please introduce yourself.
No, it was right. My name is Salama Salem. I am from the United Arab Emirates, and I'm excited also to be here. And it is such a big opportunity for all of us, I think.
I hope all of you guys have the same view like me, because when I say right, like I'm basically saying it from how I'm seeing the screen. So I guess the next person would be Mrunmayee, Rahalkar. Yeah, the stage is yours.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mrunmayee Rahalkar. I am from India. I am 19 years old, and it is an honor to be a part of this panel discussion. I am looking forward to having great conversation with all of you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And Dhavedha, I'm so sorry for mispronouncing the name again. Forgive me for the first time. Yeah, please introduce yourself.
So, hello everyone. I am Dhavedha Darshini. That's my name, Dhavedha Darshini. I am from India, and again, I'm looking forward to this conversation. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for introducing yourself. And Sivani P. Nathan, please tell us about yourself and introduce yourself. Which country are you from? How old you are? You know, just the basic introduction.
Hey everyone, I'm Sivani P. Nathan. I'm from India and I'm 15 years old, and I'm really looking forward to hearing everyone's ideas and expressing my own.
Very happy to have you. And Milena Danilova, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Milena. I'm 15 years old and I'm from Uzbekistan. I'm really glad to be here because I've been looking for an opportunity like this for quite some time now.
We're very glad to have you, by the way. And is Kasiet Nurlanbekova over here?
Yeah, I'm here. My name is Kasiet Nurlanbekova and I'm from Kyrgyzstan. So I'm really happy to be here and hope that everybody will get some experience. That is all.
And likewise, we're very happy to have you. And Rahaf, Hamza, if you could also introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I'm Rahaf Hamza. I'm 17 years old and I'm from Lebanon. I'm very glad to be here. It's really an honor to be invited to this summit, and I like to hear from everyone. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for introducing yourself. Hopefully I haven't left anyone else out. It's very nice to see that there are people actually like youth joining us from every part of the world. I mean, we have people from Lebanon, people from Emirates, from India, from Kyrgyzstan. It's amazing. And I'd like to pose my question. So what activities did you do to keep yourself busy? Did you get into drawing? Did you get into influencing online? I mean, many people, you know, they develop such hobbies during lockdown and isolation to keep themselves, I'd say, you know, in touch with reality. So what did you do? What hobbies or activities did you get into?
To be honest, I feel very privileged to talk about these things because obviously I had the privilege to live in a house, to have any food that I needed at any time. I had access to everything, but because of that privilege, I didn't have to fight to live. So I kind of just slept pretty much all day. My thoughts were getting a little too much for me. I was becoming very I had a lot of self-hatred at that time. I started to develop nightmares. I had to go to a doctor at some point to be able to sleep because I became very sensitive to noises, and I was, even though I had everything that I should have had to be able to be happy, I was still fighting to survive. So that was quite difficult for me.
I see. Thank you very much for sharing your experience. I think many of us can, in a way, sympathize and empathize and relate with your situation. And we're always hopeful that whatever happens, however difficult the situation can get, it will turn out for the better, hopefully. So thank you very much, Milena, for sharing your experience. And what activities did you do to help you with your mental health and to help you with getting used to living in isolation? Did you read books, archery, horse riding? I don't know. What exactly did you do?
Okay, firstly, I live in Kyrgyzstan, and that's why we have an ability to go to the mountains. And we were just like every weekend go to the mountains. It's like family trips. So also, firstly, I was just in my room watching anime and like, oh my God, life is so bad. Then quarantine. In quarantine, we were fighting for, who will go for the milk in the shop. We were like, no, I.
So the milk was finished in the shop? All the milk was finished? Like there were no groceries in the shop?
No. I'm telling you, we with my family was fighting for, everyone wanted to go outside. So it was the only opportunity to go outside is go for milk or something, some products.
Essential. I see, essentials. That's very interesting. So you could go out in Kyrgyzstan, but only for the essentials, like only for the important things.
No, people could go. Yes, there were so much people who were outside, but our father was like, no, this is quarantine, so sit at home, and we were sitting at home for a long time.
I see.
Yes.
Thank you very much for sharing your experience. So I guess we could start with Rahaf Hamza on the left, and then slowly move to the right of the panel. If it's the same for all of you guys, I guess, yeah. Go ahead, Rahaf Hamza.
I want to say the golden key to confront the challenges for teens is to resort to an expert. We should vent to an adult if we trust, just to release some stress. We can make use of our free time. Like we can learn a new hobby. We can just play. We can read books. We can do lots of things, and just be aware that you're not alone. Yes, this is a situation every teen in the world is living. So we should be aware. We should resort to an expert or an adult whom we trust, so we can just release our stress. Yes.
Thank you very much for that advice and for that tip on how to cope with stress. And Mrunmayee, Rahalkar, how would you advise someone, or how do you personally cope with stress?
Personally, if I am, say, very stressed, I like to journal. I usually write down what I'm feeling, or, just like to let go of, anything that's causing me stress. I try to keep my mind off that topic for some time, maybe indulge in some other activity, listen to some music, or, just unwind for some time. But I feel that as of now, we are living in a pandemic, and there's a lot of uncertainty that's around. And it is actually very normal to feel a little vulnerable, or to feel a little more overwhelmed, or to get overwhelmed by, say, any small thing, or, get triggered by anything that, things that are happening around, because this is the new normal. You will hear good news, bad news on a daily basis, and it affects you, both ways. So I feel on a personal level, we need to start accepting that it is fine to, sometimes be a little more overwhelmed by things, or, to feel a little more vulnerable, because it's okay. You need to take some time out for yourself. And I think, you can work it out. Anybody can. You can.
That's true. That's true. The world is in your hands, as the proverb goes. And Sivani P. Nathan, would you have any advice or any ways on how do you personally cope with stress?
I think expressing ourselves in art or writing or music you don't have to be good at what you do. It's just letting it out as we mentioned before, like venting. I think instead of keeping it all in, I think that's a good way to cope with stress. And sometimes we have to realize that not everything is in our hands. Some things are just out of our control, and I don't think we should stress over stuff like that.
That's true. And what about Dhavedha? What do you think about?
Yes. So, can you hear me now?
Yep, we can.
So personally, I have not been the person who's good at dealing with stress, but for me, what works is that if I'm stressed because of certain thing, then I think the opposite thing. If something does not happen the way I want, then I think that I imagine that it actually happens that way. So by imagining things that you want, just the opposite of what you think, then that way it kind of help relieving stress. But the thing is, that's not advisable because you can't completely live in your own imagination. You have to face the reality. That's the most important thing. So I like reading books. I like watching stuff, like watching series or dramas or anything that can help relieve stress. And a message that I would like to give is that to make a world a better place to live, I think everyone has to change. I am starting to change. I realized what has to be changed. I've started changing myself, and I am hoping that others will change with me.
That's a very inspirational, nice message. And thank you very much for sharing it with us. And Milena, what do you do to cope with stress?
Should we answer the stress question first and move on to the ending later, or?
Yeah, I think you could answer the stress.
Yeah, let's do the stress question first, and then we'll end with a message.
All right. So for the stress part, I think, as the previous girls have mentioned, it's really great to sometimes let yourself go. Like, just listen, you should face reality, of course. It's advisable. You can't just get lost forever, but we're all human and we all have emotions, and it's okay to sometimes watch a movie that might make you feel better about life. It's okay to sometimes just lie down and imagine if your life was a different way. You should let yourself just escape reality for a moment, because if you're always so focused on everything in your life, you just won't be able to live. If you're always focusing on the negative news, you're just not going to be able to live. So it's important to just take a step back every once in a while. Remember that not everything is in your control. Remember that there are still bigger people that can, like, when you think about how the world is in a crisis, when you think about how the world is in a climate crisis, for example, you should remember that you are one person, you are one individual. You shouldn't put all of that load and stress on yourself, because let's be honest, one person just using a little piece of paper is not going to end the world. We should help the world by being part of a bigger community. Not only give help to others, but accept help from others. If you are facing a lot of stress in your life, like for me, I personally feel very shy to reach out to people. I feel like I'm going to be seen as weak, but it's a step that you should take, absolutely. Just reach out to someone, and remember, again, not everything is on your shoulders. The world ending is not on your shoulders. It's on the shoulders of bigger corporations and governments that should be the ones protecting us, So just do that. Just take a step back and remember you're one person out of 8 billion people.
I see. Thank you very much for the heartfelt message. And Salama, what do you do to cope with stress, and how do you advise people to cope with it as well?
Well, for myself, I usually just go watch my comfort TV show or take up some activity that I will do for like 2 weeks and then get bored of. That's what I usually do. Or maybe just like disconnect from the world, have a moment with myself, read.
Disconnect from the internet, from everything. I see. Nothing like a good stress coping mechanism like watching your favorite drama.
Exactly.
I guess, yeah. And Rafa, what about your stress coping mechanism? How do you cope with stress?
Me personally, I like to journal, as someone before said that too. I like to journal, write down what I'm feeling. That makes me feel a lot better. So yeah, I like doing that. And other than that, like I like to remind myself that like it's okay to feel like this. It's okay to be sad. Because everyone's like that. Like I remind myself that we're all the same at the end. We all feel weak sometimes, and we all feel depressed at times. So it's actually fine. Also, there's an Arabic song that's called كل حاجة بتعدي. It says
everything
that,
becomes fine.
Yes. Yeah. So remind yourself that you've been through stuff before and those things passed by. So just like that, this thing will pass too.
Yeah, that's true. I think like one of the nicest things about journaling is the fact that you're writing on a paper and this paper is not going to judge you. You know, maybe if you told your parents or you told anyone in your family, they will listen to you, but to some degree, there still will be that judgment. You know, but if you're writing it down on a paper, you can express yourself in whatever way, whatever fashion you want. You know, use whatever words you want, but the paper will never judge you. So yeah, I guess that's why many people go to journaling. It really helps them in that sense. And Kasiet, Nurlanbekova, how does how do you cope with stress when you're stressful, when you feel worried, sad, upset? What do you do?
I think that any physical activity can help you to fight your stress. It's first, and the second one, if you have good friends, you can just sit and like talk with them in like depression atmosphere together. They will be depressed too with you because we are together. So talking about my message, I'd like to say that almost anything in the world we can accept and react for it in the ways we want to. So also almost anything in the world we can use how we would like to use. So just change your reactions, change something which is inside you, and maybe it will help you, maybe not, because it's life, not a fantasy. That is all. Thank you very much.
That last line sounded like it was just out of a book. I think, look, if I ever use it anytime in the future, I'll make sure to credit you. What was the last line that you said? The last line you said, life was, as you said, something, experiences was a life, not a fantasy. Something, you said a last line that was very inspirational. It sounded like a quote.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, if anyone remembers it, remind me later, because I have like literally the worst
memory.
Because it's
life, not fantasy.
Oh yeah, that was the one. Yeah, thanks a lot for reminding me. I'm gonna use that, by the way. Sorry, Kasiet.
Can I add like a very little point over here?
Sorry?
I think, like, you know, the thing that we can do to help others cope with stress, I think kindness is something that lacks a lot these days. It doesn't take a lot of efforts to be kind towards someone. So if you want to help someone cope with stress, or if you know that someone is in stress or probably needs you, the best thing or the key can be, you know, just to check up on them, especially your loved ones or, you know, your friends who, you know, family, anyone. So I think that is something that also needs to be done, because it's necessary, I feel, on a personal for every individual, because you know, you also at some point in your life you will need someone to check up on you. So I think what you give is what you gain.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like one celebrity said, he said, when someone is in need, when someone close to you is in need, you don't call them, you show up. So, you know, you literally be there for them to help them with their problems.